Senator Hoeven, thanks for joining me this morning. Tell us a little bit more about the significance of this 5th Annual Energy Expo.
Chris, great to be with you. We've got just a outstanding crew here talking about energy development here in North Dakota, latest, greatest technologies. And really, our state's becoming a powerhouse for the nation. And so we're here talking about what we can do to continue to build our energy resources, both traditional energy resources and renewables, as well as developing the infrastructure that we need to continue to grow. And that means not only pipelines and energy infrastructure, but also the housing and roads, water development, private investment stores, and restaurants and all the things that people want that we need to have as well for quality of life. So really it's a good mix of people from the industry as well as elected leaders, and a good chance to talk about building for the future.
Again, if you want to head over there, you can, I'm sure, still register. It's at Bismarck State College, National Energy Center of Excellence. One of the speakers coming up later today, the CEO of TransCanada, Alex Perbeau is what I'm calling Senator. I don't know if I'm saying his name
That's
right.
I think it's Alex Perbeau is how he pronounces it correct. And he's the CEO for TransCanada, which is looking to build the Keystone XL pipeline. Over the last few years, they built the Keystone pipeline, which brings about, I think it's 600,000 barrels a day of Canadian crude down into United States refineries. That actually goes through the east side of North Dakota, and now they're looking at building from Calgary down to the refineries, and now they're looking at building the Keystone XL pipeline, which would go down the just west of our western border, and we would actually tie into it with a pipeline from our oil fields, probably 100,000 barrels a day that we would feed into it. And they're building this second pipeline, Keystone XL, which will go down to the Gulf Coast and to Cushing. And that's something that we're trying to get approval for, and has been delayed by the administration.
Talk to us about this punt by the administration. Again, Senator John Hoeven with us. The Energy Expo taking place today and tomorrow in Bismarck. Some of the things I've read is, Nebraska gets $100 million in bonding for environmental protection from TransCanada they've offered. People are worried about the aquifers. But also we're looking at 20,000 jobs. You get this thing going, 20,000 jobs happen. The other piece, though, is also it's going to increase the price of the crude oil here coming out of the Bakken, which is only going to give, I'm assuming, more private sector people more certainty about making investments here with real estate development and whatnot. So why the punt by the Obama administration?
This project has been 3 years in the works already, and now the administration is talking about another 18 months before they get approval, and doing some rerouting of the project in the Nebraska area. The concern they're expressing is for the aquifers there. The company is going to great lengths to make sure they put in the latest technologies and do everything they're taking the pipe extra deep. They're putting not only very thick pipe, but also putting devices on it to make sure that if that they protect against any spill, and they're monitoring it on a full-time basis. And really, it's the latest, greatest technology, better than what's already in place there. But even still, they've run into resistance, and so now the administration has delayed it for 18 months to look at an alternative route. We're trying to help every way we can, not only to get approval, but if we're willing to work with them to develop another route through North Dakota, if that helps get the project done, because as you say, huge job creator, and also part of the infrastructure development that we're working on to move our product to market safely without putting more trucks on the road. This is part of what you need to do, this kind of investment, to develop the infrastructure and create jobs, as you mentioned, that goes with proper energy development.
Senator John Hoeven here on the Chris Berg Show on the We the People Network. Kevin Kramer last week sent out a press release. He's been working on this for a while. Hey, why not bring this thing down by Williston and then just have it go right along the original Keystone pipeline? I'm assuming that's one of the aspects you were saying, hey, we're working on. Is that a viable option now at this point?
Well, I'm going to meet with Alex Perbeau, the CEO, a little bit later this morning to talk about that very concept. And that's how we do things here in North Dakota. We're problem solvers. We figure out how to do things, and so we're saying, okay. And this is something that I've talked to him about before, and I'm going to say, given the current situation, should we take a look at this? As you just correctly said, Chris, those right-of-ways are in place because, remember, we worked with them when they built the original Keystone project. And so we would use existing right-of-ways, both in North Dakota, and then go on their existing right-of-way on the Keystone. And if that helps get it done, well, let's go to work.
Any update on Williams County Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend an approval for a proposed diesel refinery just west of Trenton? As you know, as well as anybody else, the big diesel shortage that took place here this fall. Any update on this, and is that something that might happen fairly soon? Or?
Well, really from the standpoint of state of North Dakota, obviously we're doing everything we can and anything we can to help them. The concept is actually to have what's called a diesel topping facility that would actually use some of the oil supply that's coming out of the Bakken to produce diesel. And as you correctly stated, we need more diesel production here in North Dakota. The Tesoro plant, which is expanding, produces more gasoline actually than we utilize in North Dakota, but not as much diesel as we utilize in this state. And so this would be an opportunity to refine more diesel in North Dakota. So really it's going to come down to are investors willing to make that investment in the facility? Will it work for them? Will they put up that risk capital? From the regulatory standpoint and legal standpoint and that kind of thing, we're doing everything possible, to help make it happen. And again, that's how we approach things. We are creating the legal, tax, and regulatory environment that tries to empower this infrastructure. And again, whether it's energy development or whether it's the housing and the pipelines and the water development and roads that go with it, to make those things happen. I mean, that's how you create jobs and grow your state.
It's almost too obvious for the Democrats. Again, Senator John Hoeven with us here on the Chris Berg Show. One last question for you, sir. A while back, you had the Secretary of Energy, Stephen Chu, in town getting this geological study on recoverable oil in North Dakota updated. What's the status on that?
Well, they've started. Good news is that they've started. We worked to get the USGS to move forward with the project. So the United States Geological Survey has now started as of October 1 in doing a new evaluation of the recoverable reserves in the Bakken and Three Forks and so forth in the Williston Basin. And we think this is about a 1 year to maybe 2 year project to get it done. We believe what it will show is that there's significantly higher recoverable reserves in the basin, and that is going, and that means a long-term play. And we think that is going to really help in terms of attracting private investment, not just obviously for energy development, but that private investment for housing, for apartments, for single-family homes, for restaurants, for stores, for all the things that really go to the quality of life that we need to make sure that we maintain and build for our citizens in western North Dakota. So that's underway. Hope to have that out within, say, a year to 2 years. And obviously we're pushing. We like a year better. But the idea is we think it'll really help with the infrastructure investment.
Senator, let me ask you this. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but let's put these two things together and you tell me the impact on North Dakota. We have the USGS declare, there's $24 billion plus of recoverable oil here, plus we get this Keystone Pipeline XL to come through North Dakota. I mean, the impact, I would presume, has just got to be gigantic for North Dakota, yes?
Well, people around the country are already looking at our state and saying, hey, that North Dakota is really doing things the way they should be done in terms of creating jobs and producing more energy for this country, and not just oil and gas, but other forms of energy, the coal and the renewables as well. And I think as long as we work to create that environment that encourages this private investment, and that's what we're talking about here, we'll continue to grow. And, again, work with our communities to do it the right way with roads and housing and water development. But that's what we're about, is creating opportunity for our people and for our young people for the future. and at the same time, continuing to build that quality of life. So it takes both. But, and there are challenges that go with it. But these are the challenges of growth and opportunity, and those are the right challenges to have.
Senator Hoeven, as always, thanks for your time. Keep up the great work. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Thanks, Chris. Great to talk with you.